First, if you have a lot of hair like me, I'd recommend just tying it back, because I don't think anybody wants hair in their food. These are our ingredients. I don't have Nutella, but you can absolutely use Nutella or whichever you'd like to fill. I'm gonna be filling it with these types of jams. I don't really know what this jam is, but I guess we'll find out. But this one is from Pig's Blood. I also have an injector. I bake a lot, so I have an injector, but if you don't, we're gonna do away with a knife. So don't worry about it. And this is kombucha. That's just next. You're gonna do some hot water. I wait till this is hard to know, but I've made a lot of doughs, so it's not burning hot and it's not lukewarm. It's like kind of right above. This feels about right to me, so I'm gonna measure it at 1 cup. The yeast has to be done quickly because you don't want the water to be cold. Okay, and this is just a pro tip. It's never 1 packet. It's always something more. Wait for about 5 minutes until it gets rather. Okay, so I've done 3 cups of flour, and now I'm gonna add in, what is this? The confectionery sugar. Didn't even recognize it because it's just white as the flour. I'm gonna add in the nutmeg. Oh, just kidding. The other one was salt. And I'm gonna add in personally, I wouldn't use kosher salt just because it's gonna be more coarse. And I like to actually use it when I'm baking, even though that does give it more of a sweet and salty taste. But for donuts, I think you just want a smoother consistency because not a brownie or a cookie. So we're going to whisk this. I like to go like this. Okay, and now we're gonna add the 2 egg yolks. So I already put the 2 egg yolks in. I actually put eggs in, but then I took one of the egg whites out and put the yolk in. It's fine, we're pushing through. Anyway, here's some oil. This is 2 tablespoons of oil. I think the tablespoon, whichever, it's the right measurement, don't worry about it. And then I'm gonna take our vanilla, boop, and we're gonna whisk, whisk, whisk. Oh yeah, when all else fails, it's recommended that I just use my hands, and that's what I did with this bowl. Oil the pan. As you can see, I have these mixing hands. And I could have done this with a paper towel, but I didn't. And then I'm gonna cover it with plastic wrap, and then we'll wait 2 hours and see if it's risen. Just see how it is now, and then we'll watch how it's risen. See how it is now, watch how it's risen. And I put the oil around the bowl just because that's what I always do when I make it. Okay, so this is how thick the dough should be. I've rolled it out. I don't have a wide table, which is perfectly fine. I did use circles. Honestly, I can't find my cutter, so I just use things around the house. This is the top of a kettle, and I just press those down. Circles just like this. Okay, so the oil's been hot. I made a couple, but we're gonna just watch them go and not burn myself. Sorry if the camera pans away. I'm doing like 3 at a time. The oil is pretty hot. Some might say too hot. That's just my nephew. And they're going to puff up. And when they get brown on one side is when we turn them over. So I can tell that they're getting dark on that side. So I'm gonna flip them over soon. And some just won't puff up as much as others, and that's okay. Like this one is very flat, right? So we have this air bubble, which is good. And this one has very much risen. We're gonna do a flip, flip. We want them to get good and brown on both sides, and then we're gonna take them out. Okay. So now I take some of the oil out by putting it on the paper towels, and then I'm going to use my injector and I'm going to put it right in. It's hard for me to do it while I hold the phone. So here we go. I just wrap and I store them, and they look like this. I could have added a little more sugar to maybe a couple on the ones in back. But yeah, this is the finished product. And I would just say that in the recipe that you'll see, they'll ask you to make rectangles. I like to make circles. That's just how I roll. And Chag Sameach.